press the record button and say, yo, what up?
Hi.
Okay. You started saying things before we started recording, and so I wanted to make sure that everybody heard it. Repeat what you said, please.
Absolutely. So what I'm doing is, because I care about this game so much and I love growing this game, what I'm wanting to do is, a lot of people have bulk commons and uncommons and cards that they don't need anymore because they have so many.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than them sitting in a box just kind of collecting dust, why not give them in a playable mini deck? So what I have here are characters that are available in sets, that I believe are both, one, popular, and two, relatively easy to understand.
Okay.
So where they can be given to people as a starter deck, and just hand it to them. Here's 51, here's a 50 card deck plus character. Here's how it works, and you have fun.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. Okay, so what is the goal? Do you want to just talk for 25 minutes about like what cards should go in decks, or?
So the goal for this one, I'm thinking, is we can. I think this would be a fun option for this specifically. Is I'm thinking we take one of the characters, and I'm not saying to fully build the deck, but try and understand like what would be a good common uncommon choice for the character, like how to pick a symbol, sort of thing, like a good sort of beginner deck sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Will you pick a character for me?
Me pick a character?
Yeah.
I'm thinking all my one, because he's the one I'm kind of most iffy on, but I have to have all my, because it's all my.
Right.
And I can't give away the promos because he's the only one in the set thus far, so.
Makes sense. Okay, let me do some look. I'm gonna shoot to my face and get a thing set up.
So this is a little bit unconventional, but I think it's a decent idea for a challenge,
Correct. I agree. All right.
For a beginner, so.
So the very first thing that we have to do, does this work? Barely. Is we have to set our symbols. There. And then we have to put it to commons, uncommons?
Yep, and then My Hero Academia
commons?
format. Commons and uncommons with My Hero Academia format.
Okay.
And then we're also looking at a match. We don't need a match, but yeah. So.
Okay, let me go and find the character first.
Yep.
I've done it. Okay. And then we'll click on all of these and then see what our options are. Okay, so the very first thing that we have to do, looking at our commons and uncommons, is you pick a character, and then I've clicked all three options for symbols. We need to go through and we need to see what our results look like for all three symbols. So under the all symbol, we have 35 choices. 34 choices. So the first thing we do is we probably leave out the earth symbol, but knowing that there's a lot of good earth punches, punch and furies, it probably makes sense for that to be the symbol. I know that the good symbol is probably where we want to be, just because of like how the set works.
Yep, and game knowledge and stuff like that, but
From there, the very first thing you do whenever you make a deck is how do you kill people, and that's just with attacks. So I'm gonna throw one of all of these cool cards into our deck.
I agree with that one.
You don't matter. Okay. From there, the first thing that we do is, once we have our attack lineup set up, we have 7 choices for attacks. We've got low, mid, and high blocks. I think that we have a deck here, right?
I agree.
I think let's take and go here. Back to where we were. Good, common, uncommon, My Hero. Now we're going to go to actions, assets, and see what we have. Go for the win is neat. Giving +2 speed on your.
I think it's pretty good. I like one.
And then foundations. Let's just. This is incorrect. We have to set this as our current deck. I have ruined everything. Let's go back to actions. We have to put to put this in. Back to a 1 of. Foundation.
Ultra is not your fan today.
It's all good. At a 1 of. At a 1 of. At a 1 of. This is a very good block. This card's very good. This has your face on it. This has your face on it. This has a defensive ability. 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 This has card text on it. I think the other ones are fine. Okay.
Yeah.
From here, we now get to take, and now that we have the options for our cards, as we look at our stats. Okay, our high blocks are going to be a little rough, so we might have to go in and find some filler high blocks. Let me just go check and see what filler high blocks we have. Going out to fight some villains is fine.
Plus 4 much
That's
is
not a block. That is okay. Back to where we were. Let's come here. Okay, so this is the deck that we have to mess around with. 688. So
Yep.
From here, we have to talk about attacks first. It's going to be a 50 card deck because that is the way to compete with all of the other 50 card decks, right?
Yeah,
if you happen to have like a singleton ultra rare, like a single Texas Smash that you can give away, or like a single Detroit Smash you can give away, that would be awesome for one of these types of decks. I don't know what you have or anybody else has, but the way that we do the starter deck structure is like you could give away a single Texas or Detroit, and then give away a like a pull no punches, right? And then
yeah,
there's your one of. Like,
yeah. Okay, I can probably work with that. I got to see what I have, but yeah,
totally.
And then probably be like a secondary option based on what we have, but for like you got it.
Right. Yeah. So the first thing I think we do is just we play Jab. It puts more cards into our hand.
Yeah.
Hardened Frenzy, so we get to build more as our low hand size character. This card has our face on it. This card has our face on it.
Yep.
And then from there, we now get to figure out what to play. I don't think Ricochet Charge is the correct move, although we have to look. Yeah, we've got Leaping Right Hook for our low block. So we're just going to toss Ricochet. I think we take Leaping Right out. Right? If we just get rid of you. And then we play 4 of you. And then we see where we're at. We're at 20 here, which is too many cards. So we're going to go you 2 a 3 of. We now have 18 attacks. I think that is an acceptable number.
I think so too. Let me check. I have 2 that I have built already, so let me just try and make sure what I've got for that. So what I've been doing for the most part is just trying to do 4Xs, just because repetition is good for mentality, for foundations, I should say. Attacks are a bit more flexible because they have more utility.
Right. Yeah. So you want 4Xs of all the foundations?
Yep, 4X of foundations, but I tend to have extra, like 1 as a 2 of because to fit the 50, because all 4s won't make 50.
Makes sense. Yeah. And they have I want to say that they can't put their attacks at 4 ofs. And they don't put their foundations at 4 ofs either. I guess they have the, or they might be like 19 attacks, 31 foundations.
If I remember right, the starter decks that they give out, they tend to have 4X of every foundation except for the nice one, the shiny one. But I can't remember.
That makes sense to me. Okay, so let's talk about the good ones. So obviously, It Can't Be Fixed has to be a 4 of because it's spam. Manly Passionate Guy has to be a 4 of because it's spam, and then it has our highs and low blocks covered. Now we have to find a mid that is good enough, and I think that answer is probably just like Manly Friendship or Battle Resolve.
I'm thinking Destined.
Destined as the mid? Sure, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think that card's nutty in this character.
The Rebel Starters are 4X every foundation, but the 1X. Good call. Thank you, Tim. We're already at 41. Going out to fight some villains is going to leave. And that means I'm going to get rid of a low block as well, which is probably just going to be good impressions. Because that's hard to use. If we're trying to keep 4Xs, then Evade and Copy should leave, because that's not a 4X card.
Yeah. Like I said, we're probably gonna have like a single 2x just to fit card standards, but we may not because we have 18 tanks, so we may be good at it.
Plug-in is a 4x. Hardened is a 4x.
I think Specialist is a 4x as well.
Specialist is a 4x. High Value is a 4x.
Because Tim is in chat, I just want to say shout out. I am so glad that for cards like Specialist in the future, they have the check below, so you remember to respond. That's such a good detail, and I love it.
If this is, he says attacks are 1 1 2 3 5 2s for 17 attacks total. Interesting.
Okay.
We just
I can see that, honestly.
Smash down to a 2 of and just be fine with it. And it's 17.
Yeah, it makes it worse for me.
Okay. From here we have Resistance and Battle Resolve that we get to pick. Which one do you want?
I think Resistance is better as a 2 of than Battle Resolve, because Battle Resolve benefits from having as many of it out as possible because of its second enhance.
I have Celebrity Status as our 2 of.
Oh, right. So, okay. Because we have 49, so we add one more to anything.
Well, yeah, we have to cut a card, right? So when we cut this,
yeah, so
it'll drop down.
it'll go to
and then
48.
This will come up.
Bring it to 52. 1.
Which means I have to cut one more card.
Yeah, I think my other ones have one more attack, so one less attack, but that's fine. It does. I think all my
full power clash.
I totally down. If it will work with you.
Boom. I would recommend lowering foundations to 32 and up a 1x attack to 2x. Okay. He is saying to lose foundations and increase attacks, which is like we just take out the double celebrity status and then put these back at the 3x's, and then there's our 50.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then 20, 14, 16, and then run it.
It's funny, we started with the lower amount of high blocks, and now high block is the highest. It's kind of funny. But yeah, no, I think that is a brilliant. But yeah, like the main idea of this was it's a bit easy because of the mentality, but it's also good to see how a higher level player thinks about building a deck, even if it's in a smaller field like this, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think some of the most skilled universes you can play is with these pauper decks, right? You don't have the rares, the ultra rares, or whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of shows you like Smash will never be on a competitive list ever, but this card is very good whenever you are limiting the things that we have.
Right. And another thing I want to highlight here is that I myself was partially drawn into the game because of the philosophy of little to no pack filler. Every card has a place.
Yeah.
And I think that this highlights it too, because some of these common uncommons are seeing excessive competitive play, and that is so good.
Yeah, I agree. Right? Like I only want to play the Earth symbol because this card has because it has hardened jab on it, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of intrinsic value in like just like the cards that like it can't be fixed will be a 4 of for the rest of its life, right? Until
for sure.
Until something gets this card banned or rotation happens, like this card is just gonna be there.
Right. It does everything it needs to do as a 0-death. I love it.
Right. 100%. Any questions about the choices that I made, or?
No, it like I said, this one, like I said, it's pretty bare bones, pretty basic with the needs of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it is, it's just good to have this sort of perspective and knowledge, because even I, someone who's been playing the game for Bebop 4 years,
Right.
It helps to even get this back and forth, and I'm kind of speaking for the newer player here, but it's just good to have as many resources as possible. So I figured I'd give something out like this, because it is also a giving out because this deck, if you are in Omaha and you are interested in playing, find me, and I could probably give this deck to you. You know.
For sure. I like this. I like this idea a lot. And so here's what I'm gonna do for you.
Okay.
Come back every week with a new character, and we'll run through this exact same thing as our deck doctors.
Every week. Okay.
Yeah, every week you can come back and give me one. Pick one of the weeks that you want it to be your week for your deck doctor, obviously for your personal deck. But like, this was 15 minutes of my time in order to help a bunch of new players, and obviously I'm gonna go for it. You know.
Absolutely. And with set 3 coming out, that helps a lot too, because we'll have characters that may or may not be popular. You never know.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna shoot you this list, and this was easy because it was just a bunch of 4Xs and a bunch of commons and uncommons. Not a lot of hard decisions here. All right, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this. Like I said, it's just little things that go a long way for people. You know.
Very much so. We'll catch you. Okay.
All right. See ya.
Peace.